Hello everyone, this is Robin Carter with Robin's Creations, and today I'm here to share my final alternatives that I made using the June 2022 Pick of the Crop Paper Pumpkin Kit. And if you've seen my previous alternates, I appreciate you watching those, and if you haven't, look in my channel. And if you are not a subscriber, I would really appreciate if you would subscribe. And also ring the bell for notifications of when I have new videos up. If you are already subscribed to my channel, I thank you for doing that and finding this video. So let me just tell you, next month or over the next couple weeks, I will be working on alternatives with the Light of the Candles card kit. I was able to take advantage of the buy one, get one half off, and my local group, we ordered several of those to work on those for our next project. So let me get started with my first alternative. I wanted to use this, and let me just tell you, that was cute as it was. So all I did was add a few embellishments. So here is my finished card. I'll try to keep things in view for you. Get it a little closer up. So let me get my little kit of things that I used to make that. So I did cut all the bases in half, and I'll show you how I use the other half in my next alternative. So what I did for this is just simply trim the side down, and I trimmed this side because I didn't want to lose all the tall grass on this side. And when I trimmed this to 4 1/4, the top part, to 5 3/8, I trimmed the 5 3/8. It really doesn't matter from which side. Okay, and then, like we did on the big bread, get my little bread out. I have all my components in there to make the rest of my cards. Oh, there's a cloud. I wanted to round the bread like we did before. So I'm simply going to get my snips and put that on for the tabletop. And I'm just going to randomly make an oval shape. And since I'm doing that, I want to also trim the white piece off. You don't have to be too careful. If you go in a little bit, that's okay. You just want to get all the white out. I think that makes it look like it came that way. I think I said previously it kind of looks like a sweet potato to me, but I have seen people post pictures of how some bread does come out with the finished corners. And there's a long hair of mine I need to get off. Okay, and so here is the cute little cart. So I wanted to punch all my the wheel parts out. I like that because then you can see through and it looks a little more realistic. I have seen some people cut this, and I thought about doing that to pop it up, but I kind of like the whole thing popped apart from the scenery, so I left my cart all put together. But you could do that as well, or some have simply curved it to make it look like it's sticking out. Sorry, I guess I should have done this ahead of time. Just take me a minute to get these popped out. Some are a little easier than others. Here's my cloud. I really love this cart. And I posted on our demonstrator site that I wish we had received a cart stamp. That would have been very, very cute. But, whoops, at least they did give us an extra one. So I'll tell you, you only have 3 of these backgrounds. And I showed you in my previous alternates how I made a background similar to this using my blending brushes and ink. So you can make a 4th one using that technique. Okay, so the only thing I did here was add some, these are actually brads, but if you have the black dots, you could put those on there as well. And that would look cute as well. I'm going to adhere this bread so I don't lose it. My Tombow somewhere. Well, I'll have to get the bottle. Hopefully there's some in there because it was not tipped upside down. I usually get my fine tip needle. Oh, here it is, where it's supposed to be. Now, I shared before, this is my high-tech medicine bottle that I just store my glues in upside down to keep the glue flowing. And I don't really want to cover up any of that basket, so I'm going to put this one kind of here. So that is that. And let me see if I have any black dots in my bucket of goodies. I think I do. At the very, very bottom, I see some. Right, there's one just running loose. And here's another running loose. So this is how I store my a lot of my embellishments or extra ones from Paper Pumpkin kits. Just have this little box. And I keep it close. This is not to lose any. This one may have lost its sticky, so I need a glue dot to adhere him down. My other little bucket of goods. This is an old clamshell box that our wood mount stamps used to come in years and years ago. And I use these for lots of storage things. I did unmount mine from the wood blocks, and I have a video on that in my channel if you're interested to see how I did that. And now with a new cling out, it makes it really easy to convert those wood mounted stamps to cling stamps. Okay, back to this black dot. I got my take your pick tool. So it just kind of gives it a spoke of where the wheel would be. I may have to use a glue dot on that one. It has some sticky on it. I'm just not sure how good it is. Okay, if that comes off, I'll add a glue dot to secure it for sure later. Okay, so then all I did was put dimensionals on this. And if you're like me, you have a stash of mini and big from Paper Pumpkin kits. So the minis fit perfectly on the wheel center. And then I'm going to take my big ones that I cut in half to put all over the little stand. I need to cut some more. I'll put one in the center for support and one there. Take off my backings. A lot of people take the backings off with the take your pick tool, but I have fine, natural, plain nails that work faster for me. Okay, and then I'm just going to try to center this. Oh, you know what? I need to trim mine first. I didn't trim that. I think I wasn't sure I was going to make this with you since I didn't actually do too much different. See if my trimmer's in view. Okay, so I want this one to be 4 1/8. That's the score blade. So I did write on here score, but it has since come off. You can also remember the same color blade, that's the color of your trimmer, is the one that cuts. Okay, so apparently I did cut that. Is this one already 5 3/8? It is. Okay, I did not remember cutting that. Apparently I did. I made these last week and had a break from making cards with the holidays and everything, so I'm a little behind of remembering what I did and didn't do. Okay, so here's my card base I've already made, and I'm feeling to see which one may be a slight hair bigger, and it feels like this one. So I'm going to adhere this to this. I have some extra lights on, but they're kind of behind me, so I'm getting this shadow. I thought I would try it for better lighting, But if the shadow bothers you, let me know and I can turn those off next time. In the past, I've turned them off and just added lamps and stuff behind me. So again, I like using the Tombow, which I've put in this little needle nose bottle. And then just kind of make sure there's no bumps of glue. I smooth it out. Okay, now that that's on a card, I'm going to center this. I think that, let me look at it straight on. Looks like he's going uphill. I'll put him down a little bit more. You know what? I could use my grid paper and see, but I think that's good enough. It doesn't have to be perfectly centered. So then I had some old cloud dies that I thought I would just dress up the sky with. And they came in 3 different sizes. Just part of my stash. I have so much stuff in here. Okay. So I'm going to do the big cloud and 2 little clouds. And those of you who have a pearl stuck to my shirt that are local in my group, we will be making these on Monday. And several of you have asked for the add-on kits, which are all the supplies needed to make my alternates. And if you're away, I can offer the same kits at the price, whatever they're priced at, and just add the shipping. So this month's kit was $10 for the supplies. Let me keep that out. So I had this little, I went looking through my stash of stamps, and I was trying to find some fruit, some other fruit, and I found this Build-A-Bike set that I had. And it not only had the little apples, it had a basket and this little dog. So I thought he was adorable to put right here. He might need some more color on him. This one's a little better. So now I went looking through the annual catalog. Let me look. So in the Stampin' Up! Regular annual catalog, I found this set here, this cheerful basket. And that would be adorable if you didn't have the embossing folders that I had on my previous alternates to make a basket out of. And it would have this little cat. The cat might be a little big, but he would be cute as well. But in past paper pumpkin kits, I know we had a bunny one time in one of our bonus March kits. So that would be cute as well. And since I want him against the wheel, I do need a mini dimensional to hold his body still. And then because this is, oops, he came off. Because this is random, not a solid piece, I'm going to go ahead and put the glue on the wheel. And then attach my little dog. I thought he was very, oh, well, it helps take the backing off, doesn't it? Hope you guys enjoy my little mistakes. Okay, so there is that. I have also made a basket of the apples, which I'm going to add over here. And I did this in soft succulent, and of course the apples are real red with garden green. So I need the same mini glue dot to help hold it. I'll take the backing off. And then this covers quite a bit more of the wheel, so I don't have to be as particular. Okay, and then just add your apples. See, I'm going to bring my dog up a little bit. He's very close to the edge. Okay, so there is my alternative. Oh, I always forget to hold it closer to me, not further away. There is my alternate, or just embellished card kit for this time. So let me put all this aside, clean up my area a little bit, and I have all my goodies to make my other ones in here. All right, just clean up this trash. Okay, my next alternative, and then, oh, here was, I didn't put anything on that envelope. I have on the others. So here's my next alternative, and this uses the back of, I believe it was the fruit basket one, the soft succulent piece. And so what I did is I embossed with my Painted Posies embossing folder. It's over here. So you know the thing is this way, and I stuck my whole piece in like that, but you run it through your machine this way with the fold going in. Okay, so then after I emboss both pieces, you can cut it in half and then you can make 2 cards. So I wanted something more than just plain white here. So I used the new as of the last mini, the Hive 3D embossing folder on this little piece of white. And then these are the berries from the kit that we have, I think, some extras, but on all my other ones, I stamped my own berries. So let me get out the components and we will do this card. Now on this one, in case you didn't have this folder, you might have the Elegant Eucalyptus, which there's 2. This is, I just label them 2 of 2 so I know when I'm putting my stuff away if I have them all. So this is what I have done on this one. So I'll kind of given alternatives for that. So apparently I did not trim this down. Here's a solid piece. So if you had the other folder, I would run this whole thing through and then just cut it in half. Here's a card base. Again, I'm going to feel, I think, that way. It looks like I may need to trim that piece. Or this piece is too short. Nope, I need to trim this down. So I wanted my black piece to be 5 1/4. Where's my grid paper? You know, you kind of have to, I'm going to go from 1. So that's actually not 5 1/4, and this one's not either. Let me get out my trimmer. And they're both the same width. Good, that's going to give just a little bit of border. So if this is 5 1/4, yeah, okay. Let me measure my white piece, because it may not, let me make sure it's 5 1/4 or 5 and, yeah, it's 5 1/4. Okay. Measure twice, cut once. It's a good saying. Okay, so then I'm just going to adhere my embossed piece to the black, and I didn't cut it, did I? Looks like I have a little more. I have to decide if I'm going to take little pieces off each end, which I'm probably going to do to keep my more of the embossed piece on the cardstock. All right, so I'm just going to adhere this straight down. Okay, and let me just see if I need to tuck one under the other. That looks pretty good. And so this piece is 5 1/4 by 1.75. And I really like to use the liquid on the embossed pieces because I feel like if I'm pressing using a tape runner, then it kind of squishes the design. All right, so I'm just gonna kind of eyeball that. Whoops, I rubbed it too well. Okay, take this off and I can kind of see if I'm equal border there. That's good. I'm gonna do the same with this piece. Okay, so there's that card. I was like, where's my original? It's right here. Okay, and then I have several strips of white, which this one's a little thinner. It doesn't matter, just whatever you have. Put this back in here so I don't lose it. And I'm going to use the same sentiment from the kit. I have them all on blocks already. I'm just going to see if that's big enough. That seems big enough. So I'm getting my Memento black ink and inking up the stamp. And then this is good. I didn't get my little foamy mat, did I? I'll give the ink just a second. Oh, that looks good. Clean that off real quick. Okay, and now I'm going to use my Pick-a-Punch. Lovely Labels Pick-a-Punch. And again, this looks like it might be perfectly 1/2. So I'm going to stick it in there, and I like to turn it over so I can see if it's centered. Okay, can you see that? And then punch. And then I recently just learned this tip. I might do it again. It might be a little too long. So it cuts 1/8 of an inch off. And I used to try to guess, but I saw someone share this tip and I thought it was great. So you take your little scrap that you first punched out and you put it on your label to see about where you want it to punch. And then I'm just going to get a pencil somewhere. I have all kinds of, well, I have a Sharpie. That'll work too. So you set that where you want. I don't know if you can see that. Bring it up. So you take this little piece and say, okay, I want about that much gap. I don't know if it shows white on white. I should have done a different color. Okay. And then make a mark on this side of the thing. And then you can get your trimmer and trim that piece right where you made the mark. And now when you go in and punch your label, it should be good. Now let's hope that didn't move in all of the showings and raising up. Again, try to get it centered. I think that looks good. Okay, so then you have your punch about where you want it. And the sizes can vary. There's not an exact science, just so long as you have your whole sentiment on there. And I had something on there. All right, so I'm going to put this on dimensionals. By now, if you don't know that I love dimensionals, you know now. I'm going to use my minis because this is kind of small. Okay, and then I didn't want, it looks kind of plain on here and nothing to separate it. So I took some scraps of black that I had. And I think I'm just going to eyeball this. This one's a little thick. Okay, and then I flagged the end. Just trimmed a little piece off. And I'm going to glue it to the end. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same to the other end. Before I attach it, I want to make sure it doesn't hang off the end. Oops, I need to move that dimensional over a little bit. Let's see if he comes up. He did, but... So you might want to do this part first. Note to class members. Okay, and he's way too long, but since I only left that much, I'm just going to trim him after the fact. So, make sure he's still glued on there. And I may trim this one just a hair. Okay, that looks good to me. This was just kind of so it stood out more than just plain white. Okay, and then I want my fruit to come up just on the edge of that label. So I'm going to put some dimensionals down on the card first. Let's see, the berry will need one, and then close to the stems will need one. Whoops, this one's being stubborn. Okay, so then just set this one on top. Now I forgot to color my stems. I usually would do that with the watercolor pencils, but since it's already popped up, I'm going to use my Stampin' Up marker that's garden green because I won't be able to press with my pencil. So this one's going to be a little darker. Okay, and when that dries, I think it's a little bit lighter, but I like that. It's bold, but it doesn't matter. Now, if you really wanted to shine up your card, you could get your Wink of Stella. Let's try that on the flower. On the fruit. So used to doing flowers. It's different to be fruit. So when I do Wink of Stella, I get something like a clear acetate piece, and I remember seeing one in here. And I just kind of get it started because I don't want a big blob on my fruit. And so then you can pick up any, and you don't have to squeeze anymore from your acetate to color your fruit. So that just gives them a little sparkle. Again, that's an optional thing. If you have Wink of Stella, you may want to go back and do that on all your fruit. So here are the finished cards of the alternates. And if you do all of your card bases, you can get 6 of these. All right. I have one more to share. I usually just do 2, but since I only had one left and my class is Monday, I knew I needed to get this going. And then on the envelope, I stamped the fruit in Memento Black. Clean up my mess. Okay, I have one more alternate for you. And this uses the other half of the cart backing. And I found that this looked most like Blushing Bride. So let me get my kit. My card base. And so I have 2 of these because you can make 3. And we need to trim this down. So I like to trim it down so just a little bit of the white card base shows. I just think it makes it look like another layer. So again, I'm going to do 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. Okay. And then this time I am going to get my Stampin' Pierce mat and my grid paper for when I go off. And I just have my blueberry and my strawberry. And then I have Blushing Bride ink. If you have a spot, that's fine. Now I will tell you, I bought this stamp pad back when this was an in color, and when we received a spot of it in the previous kits, it was a November kit, it seemed a little darker, maybe a little more brown toned, but I don't think it'll matter. We're just going for a look here. So I'm going to randomly stamp. Oh, that's my lemon. Hold on, I don't want lemon on this one. The lemon was from the a previous all-inclusive kit. Well, now I have to find my strawberry. Technical errors. I haven't used it yet. Let me look under my catalog here. Okay, well, I will do the blueberry and finish my strawberries later. So rather than have to ink every time, ink strawberry, blueberry, I just kind of randomly went around eyeballing where I thought my strawberry would go. I'm using this as a guide because I think it turned out pretty well. And I even wanted to go off the sides here because it does show. So I wanted to look like it was a full piece of designer paper. Now I'm worried about my strawberry. Runaway strawberry. And then fill in here. So when I find my strawberry, I will go and fill in that. I really thought it was sitting right there with all my others. Oh, here he is. He was just attached to the back of the greenery stamp. So let me, now I can finish him. Okay, so now I'm going to go about with my strawberry, twisting and turning as you go so they're not all the same direction. Let's see, do him like that. And you might not want to be as fast as I was on that one. This kind of cardstock takes a second to absorb the ink. It's not very random. It looks like in a row, doesn't it? I did start with my strawberry the last time. So I'm going to go in and do some more blueberries to make it look more random. And again, this is going to be covered up by the panel, so I don't think it matters that much. That one blueberry there really helped. Let's see if I can squeeze one in there. That's kind of close, but it's random fruit. Okay, now this strip comes from an envelope flap. So I used in my previous alternates the bottom part of when you cut an envelope open. And this, I just took the flap and trimmed as much flat as I could. So however much you can get, then I made this border. This one looks like 1 1/8. This one might be 1 1/4. Any looks fine. Okay, and I'm going to adhere this to that. Well, let me put this on the card first. Let's see if it looks like I got enough fruit. I did. I really enjoyed this kit as well. What about you guys? Surely everyone has received their kits now. But I really like now that we have some fruit to add. You know what? I didn't put that on the right side. I didn't do what I tell you guys to do and check your card fronts. So I may trim just a hair off that so it doesn't show. But I'll do that later. Okay, and then this is just some retired ribbon I had in my stash that I added here. It's actually powder pink. This one might be Blushing Bride, but I thought they coordinated well enough. So I adhered this down. about there. And now for my label. So this is from the Stylish Shapes, new in the catalog kit. I have several in here to work with in case I mess up. So good thing I found my strawberry, because can you see in this card, I have a real, yes, you can see it, a real faint strawberry behind the background. So what I did that was use, I believe, 3rd generation stamping, which if I inked it right now, we would call that 1st. This is 2nd, 3rd, maybe I use 4th. Very faint. But you can still see that one did a little better. Let me try again. Let me do 3rd. Kind of depends on how much ink you have. Let's do 1st, 2nd, lightly. 3rd. I think that one's better. So just do quick taps and you'll have a little more ink than that one. That one's not bad. I would use it. I was just trying to get a little stronger of a strawberry. And then I used You Are the Sweetest. And I did that in my Memento black ink. Oops. Just right. Good thing it's a circle. It doesn't have to line up to anything. I like using circles for that reason. Go ahead and stamp this one while I have it, and I'll use it on my 3rd card. Okay, and then you know I had to use dimensionals on this card. Let me close these up so I don't get ink all over. And I'm going to use my big halves. I think when I went through my lemon kit, I had a whole sheet of these dimensionals that I could use. And the ones they gave us in the past used to be a little stiffer. The ones that you actually buy in the pack and individually, and I believe the new ones, they're more like the ones you get when you purchase a whole package from the store. So, I don't know if you guys have noticed that. Let me put my glue up. All right. Oh, all right, took those off. Okay, so if you make these, you have 3 Blushing Bride backs from the other side of the card bases that were included in your kit. So this is my alternative using that piece. Now, if you had Blushing Bride cardstock in your stash, you could make a bunch of these because you have plenty of envelopes to use the flap. On this one, I did stamp the strawberry in Blushing Bride, and I'll do that when I add it to that other card. So these are my 3 alternatives. Let me see if I can get them back out. And then I'll share some Sale-A-Bration product I've received. Okay, here's my little cart. Love that. Oh, and on your 4th one, if you happen to be lucky and have got in on the Horizon paper that was in the mini catalog, these backgrounds I thought would be nice as well to put your cart behind those backgrounds, because you do have a 4th one that you won't have a background. So if you don't want to make one, this one looks very close, especially the sky. And this one, a lot more greenery, but a blue sky. So I wanted to share that with you. All right, and then my other alternative was this one with the painted posies, and this one with the elegant eucalyptus. So those are my 3 alternatives for this video, and again, I have 4 other alternatives in my previous video, so if you missed those, you might want to go check those out. And if you like these alternatives, give me a thumbs up. Let's be kind to each other in the YouTube community. Okay, and now I'm going to share, as promised, some Sale-A-Bration product that I received. So this is the 6x6 silver and gold specialty paper. And again, I love specialty paper. It can be used for anything. So I haven't opened this yet. We're going to check out the pattern of those. My phone book. It's got some trash in there. So, oh, there's white on the background. So there's a stripe. I thought the opposite side was going to be silver. So we're all learning something. Okay, and then dots. And those are white on the background. And then we received the same in silver. Gotta get a silver dot. And silver. So it says you get 24. So I'm guessing you get 6 of each one. It probably says in the Sale-A-Bration catalog, which, by the way, Sale-A-Bration began July 1st and it goes through August, but they wanted us also to point out that items in the Sale-A-Bration catalog are only while supplies last. So get your orders in quickly to get the Sale-A-Bration products you want. This is also a great time to purchase a subscription for your paper pumpkin. With a 6-month supply order, you can pick either 2 $50 items or one $100 item. With a 3-month, it gets you enough to receive a 50-month supply. And then another thing I encourage, if you're getting this 6-month, is get some additional supplies you may use with your paper pumpkin kits, like the watercolor crayons, maybe some additional adhesive or dimensionals, things like that, to get up to 150. And that way you earn your own Stampin' Rewards of 10% once you reach 150. So that's a great way to get you some freebies, and in addition to getting your paper pumpkin kits prepaid. Okay, so this is one item you can choose. Another item you can choose is a $100 item. Let me grab it. So this is called Wonderful World Designer Series paper, and it's in a 12 by 12. And let me grab the stamp set. Sorry about that. And so this is a $100 item. With $100 before tax and shipping of merchandise purchase, you can choose this as an option. It includes these great, and they kind of look like they're distinctive, which means it does the light and dark for you. So it includes those flowers, and these are designed or based on flowers around the world. So let me give you a quick peek of this paper. It's a tight packaging. Okay, so you have this design. On the back is beautiful green leaves. I should have had these already pulled out. These flowers, which I can say probably be fussy cutting these and using those on cards themselves. There's some beautiful big bold prints. The opposite side of this is lovely flowers. You probably prefer I pull them all out. Okay, this is beautiful. This reminds me of the ranunculus flowers that's available as a stamp set and bundle. And then just a patterned yellow. And I'll look at the coordinating colors when we get done. Come out. Again, similar to this, just in a different color option. Very beautiful. And a nice, just generic pattern there can you use in your background. And it looks like one more. It should be 6. Sorry about this. I'm going to go and grab these 2. There's 2 more. This is tight packaging. All right, we'll just pull them all out. I'll get these out of the way. put it back together later. Okay, we have this pattern flower, which again, you could individually fussy cut these or just use it as a panel. Very pretty. On the back, a general pattern and more pretty flowers. Oh, and I like this side. So this will be tough to decide. But you have 2 sheets of each, so you can make some with both sides. Let me read the coordinating colors for this. It's Daffodil Delight, Flirty Flamingo, Melon Mambo, Mossy Meadow, Orchid Oasis, which is a new in color, Pear Pizzazz, Rich Razzleberry, Sahara Sand, and Starry Sky, which is also a new in color. So very pretty paper. Same as last celebration. I really wish you could get, once you get the stamp set, you could say, hey, give me 2 designer series for $100 rather than another stamp set. But that's not how it works. You get both for 100 items. Okay. You have the other 12 by 12 paper. I actually got 2 of these. I'm trying to see which one. Oh, this one's open. This one is called Rings of Love. It's 12 by 12, and the coordinating colors are Crushed Curry, Evening Evergreen, Mint Macaron, Night of Navy, Parakeet Party, which is an in color, Petal Pink, Poppy Parade, and Soft Suede. So this one's not as tight, so this will be easier. I thought this side was beautiful. Here's a gingham, I guess, check. That might make a cute basket. A fall background with acorns and leaves. And then, excuse me, a watercolored look background. And a bird coming up. Sorry I didn't have these out ahead of time. Those are kind of cute birds. Oh, but I can say I love this pattern. It can be used for anything. These little houses, now those you could kind of fussy cut around and make cards. Oh, but of course, I love this side. Making it hard choices. Here's I don't know what season this is. Has oddly colored mushrooms. Here in Texas, I think we only grow white. And this rings, wood rings. Now there is a die that coordinates to this. It's in the mini holiday catalog that would cut these out perfectly. It's a one die that sits on them somehow. If you like the rings of wood and wanted a die cut to work with those. This looks like a Christmas poinsettia flower to me. And the opposite of it is some tree. Did I show the, yeah, I showed the rings. And is that 6? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, that's all 6 of them. So you get 2 sheets each. And this is a $50 merchandise option you can choose during celebration. Again, while supplies last. So don't miss out on those. And I think that's all I chose for celebration this time. But there are other options. You can check out online the other options. There's some hippo stamps, hippo dies. Oh, I did get there's a $100 item for, it's called Tree Lot Dies, and it coordinates with a stamp set in the holiday catalog, which I haven't purchased yet. I did go ahead and get the die since I had a qualifying order for that, but you know, I'm gonna not find those. And I can conclude this video. If you're hung out with me for this long, I thank you, and I really hope you like the alternatives that I've shared for this paper pumpkin kit. Again, next month I will be, over the next couple weeks, I'll be working on alternatives using the Light the Candles card kit. So if you have that card kit sitting around and want to come up with some alternatives or make them with me, I'll be sharing my videos on that. Just be sure to subscribe so that you will be notified of when and ring the bell so you'll be notified of when I make new videos. So thanks for hanging out with me today. Again, I'll have a host code in the description below if you'd like to order any of these products. I'll also have a link of how to subscribe through me under the for your paper pumpkin. If you don't already have a demonstrator and you'd like to help support my business, I would really appreciate it. If you have any questions, leave me a comment below. I love your comments. I'll read them all and try to reply to them all. So have a great evening. See you next time.